Hello everybody, welcome to Chaos TV. I'm not too sure where Metis is at the minute. Just waiting on to come back, probably just went for a drink. Um, I'll
Can
say
you
I'm
hear me,
watching that.
guys?
Yeah, can I hear you now? Yes.
I'm here, but my game just crashed, and like I'm on the kind of blue screen thing. So I apologise for this. I don't know really what I can do from this position. I'll try and get back in as soon as I possibly can. Sorry about this, Apod. Oh, I'm back in. I'm back in. Never mind. Back in again. Phew. Can you still hear me all right?
Yes.
Alright, sweet. So we're about a minute through. Again, apologies for that, guys, but my PC decided to go haywire. We're not going to get any early ganks or any early team fights, it would appear, as both teams are by and large fairly split up. You're going to have Tri occupying pretty much all over the map, and Air having a much more central kind of emphasis. But Lee Sin is going to go ahead and recall. So we're actually going to have Nocturne against Lee Sin at solo top, with Alistair in the jungles and Nunu supporting. Interesting to say the least. And it's going to be interesting to see just how Nocturne fares against this Lee Sin. In the meantime, it's going to be Oriana facing off against Ziggs in that mid, and Skarner will be jungling for Air. Bot lane will be Twitch and Sona facing off against Graves and Nunu. Graves and Nunu are going to pick up those big golems at the bottom, and in the meantime Skarner is going to finish off the Wolves and then go to blue, finishing off the blue right now and picking up the stragglers in the meantime. So it's just going to be a farm fest to start off with, APOC. I don't think we're going to see any really early ganks coming in. Especially as there isn't really any stuns in that mid. Ziggs can't stun, of course Lorena has a slow, but she can't stun either, so I think this is by and large just going to be kind of farming up until around level 6, and we're going to see a lot of action. Having said that though, Alistair's making his way down towards bot lane, so maybe there's a gank on the cards here. I think he's going to try and sneak his way into the bottom bush, and that's exactly what he's going to do. And of course from this position he can just kind of jump out with headbutt and pulverize. He is level 2, he's got a point in each. So Twitch is quite susceptible to these early ganks. He is very, very squishy. He only has 477 health, and that will disappear in a heartbeat from the buckshot of Graves. Look like they're going to do just that now. Pulverize and headbutt has been used on Twitch. Twitch will pop that flash and heal, but he's going to go down from Graves with the assist coming in from Alistair and Nunu. So a real strong start there at bot lane coming in from Tri, and as I said, Twitch very susceptible to those early ganks. APOC, very, very squishy champion.
Yeah, that's why I was very surprised to see him picked. Yes, he does have a healer with him, because that's Nunu can't heal. But I just don't know why people pick him. In jungle he's not too bad, but not in these kind of games, not in the tournament, I wouldn't pick him. Unless, some people, they think they started the AD Kennen in the tournament, and it sort of like took off, and I think that's maybe what people try and do, try and take off the champions, but I think it's a silly pick, to be honest. But my I'm starting to lag on my computer. Don't know what the problem is.
Oh, okay, well, we'll carry away the action regardless, as we actually did see a kill there onto Nocturne at that top lane with Skarner coming in. As he said, yeah, I mean, Kennen, for example, was used with Moscow 5 and IEM, I believe, first of all, where that's really where it came to fruition. A lot of people saw that live on stream, and then, of course, subsequently, every ranked game after that had an AD Kennen in trying to be pro. So, either way, they're just trying to do what they can. Skarner is going to come in here for the gank. Is being tagged up fairly heavily from Graves and Nunu, so he's going to pull back again. Doesn't want to obviously push in too far because there's no real gank capabilities open for him. And it looks like he's going to be trying to set up that gank into mid once again. Oriana fairly extended, but again Skarner's going to come through, not really get any luck whatsoever, gets hit by the tower for his troubles and going to pull back, but he's just, psychologically speaking, getting into the mindset of Tri, just saying to them, look, you can't really get too comfortable in your lanes, you can't extend too much because I'm going to be looking to gank you as often as I possibly can, and it's definitely going to keep Oriana and such on their toes. Once again, Skarner's going to push through that mid. In the meantime, Nocturne at top lane is going to be pushing Lee Sin fairly heavily back. Alistair's actually up there in Tri-Bush, but he's going to start to recall now. Looks like he was setting up that gank for a little while. Actually, there was a fake recall. He's going to be coming in. Lee Sin should be able to escape here. Of course, he does have that safeguard, so he can jump back onto one of his minions if he feels extremely threatened. And it's pretty much going to be not too much difficulty for him. He did try and land that Sonic Wave onto Alistair, but Alistair just recalling before it landed. Skarner was coming up as well in the meantime. So pretty much just backwards and forwards. APOC completely dead even on gold right now, even as well on kills and deaths. And I think we're actually in for quite a long game here if it stays at this pace.
Yeah, definitely. As I said at the start, I mean, it's a very strange game, and in my opinion, the picks are very, very even. You know, it's just the only pick that I'm dodgy about is Twitch pick. But I mean, it might pay off. Obviously, these teams have played a lot more together, and they might be more comfortable with that champion and stuff like that. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere fast. But that's what I enjoy about games. You know, you start to see the proper tactics, ganks, and teamwork come into play here.
Indeed, and there has to be a reason why Twitch has been picked up. There has to be some kind of ace up the sleeve here for Air, thinking, look, we're going to take Twitch and this is why. Maybe heading towards that kind of latter game where you can roam around, but then again you have to just say Pink Wards and Oracles completely neutralise the stealthing capabilities of Twitch. So again, going to be very difficult to see where he's really going to come into his zone and really go strong in this matchup, especially as he was a recipient of that first blood at the bot lane, and Graves picked that one up. I mean, Graves on 40 creep score, Twitch on 38, so in that case not looking too bad, but he has just recalled, so this is going to give Graves an opportunity to pick up some more farm. He has also taken a Vision Ward when he went back again, just trying to counteract that Twitch in the bot lane, trying to catch him with his pants down when he's trying to do something sneaky. And Skarner once again is just going to lurk around mid. He is so active, this Skarner, desperately trying to get ganks, desperately trying to harass the enemy team, but this time not really opting for even an attempt on that gank. He's going to pull back, maybe sacrifice the blue here for Ziggs. Wouldn't be too surprised to see Ziggs walking across right now. Indeed, he will be doing just that. Some more pressure being applied at the bot lane. Graves and Nunu pushing back Sona and Twitch. Sona on less than half health, but of course he does have those spammable heals. The one downside of Nunu is support-wise, he doesn't have any heals to really give his teammates. He does have Consume, which of course will give him health back, but not his teammates as such. Graves, however, has picked up that heal. So again, very much a stalemate right now. Gold, very similar. We are 7 minutes 50 through this matchup. No early engages onto Dragon. Ward coverage, by and large, not too much apart from at bot lane as you'd expect. And this really is anyone's game, APOC. I mean, the only doubt for me, as you said before, is that Twitch is a bit of an iffy pick. As you said, in jungle, I can completely see why you'd pick him, because you can obviously get the farm in jungle, stealth, come through and gank from behind. He does have his debilitate, which slows down enemy players, of course, debilitating poison, but as far as like an all-out AD carry is concerned, not too sure about that pick. Maybe he'll prove me wrong though.
Yeah, I think sort of late game Twitch is very, very strong. It's just trying to get to that position, and I'm surprised I haven't seen him leave bottom and go towards mid for a gank. But then he falls behind on creep kills, because his ganks are very, very good. It's just in a lane and when he's static. His invisibility and isn't very much.
Yeah, we did actually see Nocturne really attempting to force a kill there at bot lane, focusing onto Twitch. Twitch, however, did flash away. It was a 4 versus 2 at that bot. Ziggs and Skarner did react, but not quite quick enough. However, due to the fact that obviously the tower was underneath that, well, above that Twitch, they couldn't really force it too much, and they did end up pulling back. Skarner just kind of going backwards and forwards here, kind of caught in two minds if he wants to gank. There is a ward in that tri-bush, so they're going to know exactly what is coming towards them. Skarner has managed to impale Graves though. Twitch is going to try and tee off onto Graves. Also got Ziggs coming in as well. Is he going to land that ultimate onto Graves? The answer is a no, as Graves darts back in and will actually pick up a kill perhaps onto Skarner. No, he won't, as Crescendo was also used from Sona, so they will pick up that kill onto Graves, but a lot of ultimates burnt in the process. You had a Crescendo coming out, Skarner's impale, and also the Mega Inferno bomb, and I think Twitch actually blew his ulti as well. In fact, he didn't. Spray and Pray has not been used, but a lot of abilities used there just for the one kill, and Graves very nearly replied onto Skarner. Either way, 2-1 and 400 gold in advantage to Air.
Yeah, you use a lot of ultis to get the kill, but Graves, you know, against Twitch, it's very, very strong, as we keep saying. So to get that kill on him, it is a huge advantage, you know. Gives Twitch a lot more time to farm up, gives time for the support to go back, get her gold items, and and slowly come back, and hopefully come back into the game. They're not out of the game, but I mean, it'll give them more of a chance.
Yeah, it certainly gives Twitch an opportunity to catch up on creep score. He's currently 7 behind, but Graves is just going to farm down there as Twitch once again was back buying up. He has got the Berserker's Greaves, a cloth armor, and 2 Doran's Blades. On the flip side, looks like Graves is going to be building towards that Wriggle's Lantern as he has picked up the Madrid's Razors and 2 Doran's Blades. Has a Sight Ward as well, and Nunu has that Vision Ward, obviously once again for Twitch. We have 2 wards on Dragon, one from either team, so Vision is by and large down at the moment, and I still think this has a long game written all over it as it stands right now. No team is being hyper aggressive. Skarner is being extremely kind of harassment based in this jungle, consistently darting between lanes, trying to make sure that Orianna doesn't overextend too much, allowing Ziggs to pick up some creep score. But how's it looking in mid right now? Ziggs on 79, Orianna on 101, so big difference coming up there. Orianna now has that blue buff as well, so she's going to be able to spam across with that ball, getting as many creep farms as she possibly can. And late game as well, Enzi, I mean, I called you Enzi again, sorry dude, Apoc. Obviously, Orianna is very good utility-wise as well. She has the Protect Ball, and also with the Shockwave, she can just pull in the whole team, as we are going to have a huge engage at bot lane. Nunu popping off his ultimate, doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but he is support, will slow down Twitch, and perhaps do enough damage. Graves now had to pull back due to the fact he had very low health, but here comes Crescendo, back from Sona. Suddenly, the hunters become the hunted, as you're going to have maybe Sona getting dropped. Indeed, she will get dropped. Now Twitch on very low health, and Ziggs trying to come in to help out his team. Alistair very high on HP still, regardless of that team fight kicking off, and now Orianna has came down to try and help her teammate out. So that will be 2 for 2 now. Gold pretty much identical, only 200 in it in favour to try. And looking like a Dragon could potentially be set up here. Having said that though, with so many players concentrated at this bot lane, I doubt that's actually going to be a factor right now.
Yeah, as you were saying about Orianna, I would usually, obviously my elo isn't as high as these guys, you know, it's quite low, but you would usually see her played as a support rather than mid, and that's why I'm sort of, you know, I'm always, like, why people pick mid, but her creep farm's absolutely fantastic, you know, mid, and I think you may see a lot more people playing, and yeah, as you said, the Dragon's also set up for this, so I think they will move in.
Yeah, and Orianna, as you were saying before, not really a character that's utilised very much, not really used a great deal, but in my opinion she's an incredibly strong champion, and I wish I could see more of her because she's so interesting to watch. She is going to land the ball there onto Skarner, the attack, and force Skarner to push back, of course. Now she's going to keep farming up those creeps. She's on 118 to Ziggs is 99, so she's definitely ahead there. Currently both players are level 10. Orianna's blue has just run out, whereas Ziggs literally just picked his up, so he's going to have the advantage for the next minute or two in that mid. And we are going to see once again a fight kicking off at bot, as Graves and Nunu are forced to pull back. A lot of damage coming out onto Sona there quickly, but not going to be enough to put her off chasing down those 2 players. Alistair for a second was thinking about a gank, now deciding to pull back instead. But there actually aren't any wards down. Okay, 1 ward has just gone down now from the purple team of Air. But they do not have a ward in Tribush. They didn't actually know that Alistair came down in that situation. Alistair, however, was just going to pick up those golems instead. And the opposition jungler of Skarner taking down his red. So, I mean, we called this right from the start, Apoc. We thought this was going to be quite a slow, methodical game that lasted quite a long time, and it's looking to be just that. I mean, the goal difference, pretty much identical, and we're 14 minutes, 22 through the game, and only 4 kills have came out.
Yeah, well, sorry, as my girlfriend makes quite a noise knocking. I think we've maybe been spoiled by the games being so quick beforehand, you know, because a lot of good games, you know, that's the reason they're good, is because they're very close. Whereas if one side's always getting dominated, then the game's going to be over a lot quicker. So I think this is sort of like a good, you know, even battle compared to what we've previously seen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've seen a lot of games that have been kind of like 24 whitewashes, you know, and, you know, Dragon's always going one way, Baron's being picked up from one team and just pushing it home. This game definitely has a kind of a nail biter written all over it, and of course, This is the first game as well of this matchup, so it is going to be best of 3, so potentially 3 games coming out. Top lane is going to be some harassment from Nocturne onto Lee Sin, but Lee Sin actually has a 2-level advantage. Haven't really given that top lane a lot of love this game because not a whole lot's been happening. It has just pretty much been a farm fest, but it's important to note that Lee Sin's on 144 creep score, Nocturne on 116, so he is being completely outplayed right now at top lane. This Lee Sin is looking extremely strong, levels ahead of Nocturne, a lot of creep score ahead of him as well, has picked up the Wriggles Lantern, and looking good for him. Bot lane going to be 110 for Twitch, 126 for Graves. Twitch is coming under heavy attack here, will be dropped from Nunu with the support coming in from Alistair and also Graves, so having to use that crescendo just to escape, and she's going to pull back to that tower now. In the meantime, you're going to have Ziggs and Skarner both pulling back themselves as they suddenly realise that they could be going down here, and this could actually be a dragon being picked up from Tri now as they have 4 players coming down. Ziggs is going to try and spam his way across with that bouncing ball, but look at the pure damage coming out from Oriana, that attack and dissonance as well, and I think this dragon is quite comfortably going to be taken, although the Ziggs ultimate has came in, not going to do enough. The ultimate has been used there from Oriana. She's going to be chasing onto Ziggs now. Have they actually picked up the dragon? I just quickly switched over, so I assume they did, just purely on the gold difference now, and you're going to see Ziggs and Skarner both pulling back as Oriana kind of flashed through that wall. She was desperate to get the kill, but then realised she was out of mana to actually finish off Ziggs. Either way, they did pick up the dragon, and they are 3-2 ahead, so they're starting to mount a bit of a gold lead now.
Yeah, well, I think my stream's like been, well, it's not my obviously the stream, but my computer just seems to be being destroyed. Yeah, but it seems to be, yeah, that dragon might change things up a bit. The gold isn't as much as, again, previous games we've seen. The towers are still pretty much up, so you know, it's not over by any means by anybody. But yeah, it'll come down to this Baron, usually around the 20-minute mark, so I think it'll be decided by then.
I think the only concern going into this at the moment is that Lee Sin is starting to look quite beefy. I mean, he currently has 3,400 gold in his back pocket, and of course it's going to be entirely up to him what he decides to buy with that. Lee Sin's such a good character when farmed and fed, and he has been given free reins to farm at top, 168 creep scores to Nocturne's 144. Nocturne has picked up the Ninja Tabi Boots and the Wriggles Lantern, and we could potentially be seeing some more action at that bot lane as Twitch and Sona will be pushing up. Having said that, though, Graves have just quick drawed back there onto Twitch, doing enough damage to keep him in 2 minds, and the buckshot as well landing nicely. So again, a bit of a stalemate at that bot lane. Skarner could potentially be coming down to that bottom lane. Doesn't have too much mana though, but it is enough for an impale, which only costs 100 mana. But he is now going to double back as there is a ward there, so they did have nice early vision of that Skarner trying to come down, and of course seeing Skarner, that Scorpion running down towards you, always a bit of a scary thought there, as he actually did go back to bottom lane again, but once again Graves and Nunu not overextending, not giving themselves away on an early easy kill, and Graves is just going to keep picking up those creep score. Top lane, Nocturne has been given an opportunity to get some creeps of his own. You're going to see Lee Sin going back and buying up Mercury Treads, Phage, Hex Drinker, and the Wriggles Lantern as well. So he really has added a lot to his inventory when he went back there. Top tower has been taken down though, as Lee Sin went back. So that gold advantage slowly but surely climbing for Tri now. They are 24.9k to 22.6k to air. They do have that tower up, of course, and remember they did pick up the dragon, so that's the reason at the moment for their gold advantage. Farm is by and large fairly even between these two teams.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised to see. Oh, sorry, my throat went dodgy there. Surprised to see Nocturne's actually push the lane. You know, you rarely see Nocturne in the lane because I don't really regard him as a high laner. Well, I suppose you never see Lee Sin either, but I think he's a lot stronger. But that goes to prove me wrong. You know, anything can happen. Obviously, everybody's got different abilities with different champions. You know, I might be good with somebody, but somebody else might be very good with them. So it's nice to see that.
A lot of action in mid there. I was going to see 3 kills going down, 2 from Skarner, 1 from Oriana, and Oriana did blow a lot of those abilities. She did use the ultimate, so Shockwave has been burnt. 4 for 4 though. Once again, everything is all even, but Twitch could be going down here. Twitch should be falling from Graves, but beforehand he did take down Nunu himself, so that was a 1-4 exchange. Sona now coming down is going to be meeting up with that Graves, but you know, Sona isn't exactly renowned for that damage output as support character, so she's going to have to be careful because Graves could definitely take her down here. Graves looking to chase after her with that red buff, but here comes Lee Sin. Lee Sin is going to, if he lands this Q, then he's basically going to get the kill here onto Graves. That's exactly what he did. Slowed him down beforehand though, which is smart play. And now I'm going to pick up the 1 kill advantage. Skarner at top lane is just chilling out farming. So had he been a more consistent member of that team fight bot lane, it would have been even more one-sided. But he did pick up a double kill there, and he has pushed himself to 3-0-1. Has brought up the Kindle gem. He also has the Philo stone, so could very well be going for the Shariah's Reverie, which with Skarner is a very important item, definitely a core item.
Yeah, I do think Skarner's like if in the right hands, Skarner is a game changer, you know. And this one's actually been very, very good. Because the previous ones we've seen haven't been very active in lanes, and they've always just, you know, floated around, used their ulti to bring him back to a tower. But he seems to be very, very active around the map.
Yeah, this Skarner's been very proactive right from the beginning. Even though he wasn't landing the ganks, he was doing enough just to hinder the opposition. And as I said, play mind games with them. Just say to them, look, you can't extend too much, otherwise I'm going to be breathing down your neck, I'm going to impale you, and you're going to die. And it sends out a very clear message to the enemy team. They cannot get too aggressive, otherwise they're going to go down. Here we go, Skarner has popped the ultimate onto Oriana. Oriana going to go down in a heartbeat, surely, but Shockwave has been used. Zig's ultimate does land onto her though, and then Nocturne using that paranoia to finish off Ziggs. It's now going to be Skarner versus, well, I was about to say just Nocturne, but here comes the cavalry for his team here, as you're going to see Alistair and Nunu coming in with the support role, but Skarner just so tanky with the chain vest and also no magic mantles. Crescendo's going to be landed on Alistair and Nunu as well, but not going to take either of them down. They are refusing to die. Graves has joined the battle as well. Going to try and nuke down this Lee Sin. Probably not the greatest of targets as how tanky he is right now. Nunu ultimate coming off. Twitch also coming in with spray and pray, but he's been completely taken out of the fight there with a pulverize, and he will be going down as well. Very nearly got a double kill in fact onto Nocturne and Nunu. So all kinds of action all over the place. Skarner has finally been shut down there, and Alistair jumping back onto Sona once again underneath that tower. 9-7. And just a huge explosion of action there. It's been a very slow, steady game, pretty much kill for kill, and then out of nowhere, huge team fight. And I have to say, Tri came out on top there, and now took the 3.5k lead on gold. I'm going to pick up this dragon.
Yeah, yeah, the dragon is going to go down again, give them more gold advantage. They're up on kills, they're up on towers. I'm really liking Alistair in jungle. Like, you don't see him, like, I don't see him often particularly, but yeah, he seems quite handy, quite nimble, gets around, can control people, you know, he has so much crowd control and he can take so much damage, because usually when the first person jumps in, that's who everybody focuses, and it's nice to have that ulti.
Yeah, of course, once Alistair pops his ultimate, once he has the Unbreakable Will on the battlefield, he is extremely tanky, and definitely want to switch your focus away from him, but unfortunately, he can still pulverize, he can still headbutt, has a lot of CC, so he's the kind of character you're caught in two minds about. The thing that kind of struck me there is that they seem to focus Lee Sin quite a lot in that team fight, and he's very, very beefy right now. He's got Phage, he's got Hex Drinker as well, of course, which will give him on his passive, well, I'll read it out exactly. If you would take magic damage that would leave you at less than 30% health, the first scanning shield that absorbs 250 magic damage. So obviously he's very, very beefy against magic resist characters and has a lot of health to boot as well. Oriana's going to get caught out once again from the Skarner ultimate. She went down very quickly last time as well. Shockwave has been used and she turns the tide of this team battle back in her favour, taking down that Ziggs very, very quickly. Has so much damage there. Here comes Alistair to try and help his teammate out. Will land that pulverise. Perhaps Sona could be going down here as well, as Graves is going to join the fight. Collateral damage surely going to be used. There we go, but it has missed by a hair's breadth. Doesn't seem to matter though, as Sona will go down regardless from Alistair, and now Skarner has the bullseye painted on his back. Graves is going to take that one down. Lee Sin coming into the fray, trying to take out this Alistair, and Nocturne paranoying in from a long way away, but Lee Sin should escape, but there's Nocturne with the flash and completely devastating Lee Sin, and out of nowhere suddenly a 7-kill lead is established from Tri. Huge gold lead as well, over 7k, 7.4k, and I am pretty sure this is going to be a Baron as well, just to add insult to injury for Air, unless Twitch can pull off a steal. Of course he does have that stealth, which is going to work in his favour, but I don't see him trying to even do this when Alistair has an Oracle, and that was what I was saying before. I mean, it's all well and good having stealth, but if one of the enemy team picks up that Oracle, you're basically useless in that kind of situation. They do have Baron less than half health, less than a quarter health now. Will Ziggs be able to steal this one? Has popped the ultimate as well. Pure damage is coming down. Alistair on low health. They're all going to pick up Baron regardless, but look at that team. Nocturne and Alistair have to go back. They cannot afford to engage this team fight, so they are just going to bide their time, recall, buy up, and come back stronger than ever with that Baron buff.
Yeah, send with Twitch picking up the Oracle. Alistair picking up the Oracle. Especially on Alistair itself, I mean, he's super tanky. So if you usually you try and focus on the person who has the Oracle, sorry again, then you know, that's what you do, but when it's against Alistair, you're sort of like, well, that's me completely out for the whole game, unless we win a team fight. But again, I don't see that happening with the damage that they're pumping out.
Yeah, the damage is way too strong right now from Tri. They're pretty much, you know, especially with Baron buff as well, you have to take that into account. It does give a big buff, especially around the 25-minute mark, and they're going to be looking to push the side lanes here for sure. This bot tower, tier 1 tower, will be going down very soon on 710 HP. Don't see it standing for too much longer, but there could be a team battle kicking off soon, because Graves has been spotted in that bush and has Orianna, but tower's gone down. Twitch does not want to try and start this team fight on his own, but that's exactly what he's done. He doesn't really have too much support from his team, and you can see he didn't really do any damage whatsoever to that Graves. He currently only has Zeal. Big damage coming in there from Orianna with the shockwave though, completely neutralizing that Sona, so Crescendo will not play a part for the next 20-30 seconds, and this tower surely is going to go down. That is a huge piece of CC taken out of the equation now for Air, and they're going to have to just turtle up on these inhibs, and in the meantime Tri are going to pull back and try and push the mid and possibly top lane as well. This is the power of Baron. You have pretty much unrivaled control over both jungles and huge map positioning advantages as well. Going to take down that mid tower. Air simply cannot afford to engage right now. It's a 4v5. Sona has just respawned, so that Crescendo's going to be back into the fray once again. But you're going to see Tri pushing back now. Perhaps recalling to buy up some items. Thought for a second Dragon was due up, but not to be the case, as they're going to pull back. And yeah, definitely looking to see some items built up. You can see Graves right now has the Phantom Dancer, has Wriggle's Lantern, and the Infinity Edge. The amount of damage that he's outputting is insane. When you compare that to Twitch's build of Wriggle's Lantern and Zeal, there is a big differential right there. Let's have a look down the list. Orianna has Rabadon's Death Cap and the Riley's Crystal Scepter, compared to Ziggs's Rabadon's Death Cap and Blasting One. So again, ahead in that situation. And how is Nocturne faring? Wriggle's Lantern, Brutalizer, Phage, Heart of Gold, and the Warden's Mail, so could be going for Anduin's Omen here, which of course is a great item. Again, just well and truly ahead. APOC cannot see how Air are going to get themselves back in this game unless they turtle for the next 10-15 minutes and do some awesome counter-attacking.
I was thinking there, like, the problem with these, it's not a problem to be exact, but with these tournaments, with the sort of unknown teams, they don't know how each other's going to play, and yes, they might have met each other, you know, during some ranked games, but if you don't know how your opponent's going to play and you've never seen them play before, you do turtle, and I think that's why the start of the game was very slow, and we didn't really think about that. And now, once one team sort of goes, okay, this is what they're doing, and as soon as somebody picks up on a slight advantage, they start to push it, and if you just keep turtling and somebody's pushing, then there's no result apart from you're going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, League of Legends is definitely a snowballing kind of game that you can't afford to sit back for too long. At one stage, you have to say, okay, guys, we have to go for broke here, broke or bust type thing, and basically really force a team fight. And there's only a certain amount of time that Air can afford to sit back here on their inhibs and completely give their jungle away, completely give the lanes away as well to farm. Because right now, Troy have complete control. Baron has just run out for the whole team, so if anything, now is the time to try and strike and pull themselves back into this game. They do still have a lot of CC, a lot of AoE damage as well. They've got the crescendo coming in from obviously Sona, which can just pretty much make everyone dance in the opposite team. That Ziggs ultimate going to be raining down all kinds of damage, spray and pray as well from Twitch, so they can feasibly win a team fight if they engage at the right time. Perhaps this is just that. Skarner has flashed in, and you're going to see Graves just quick drawing straight away. Shockwave used, but actually will miss. It's a nice flash from Sona out of that one. Once again, trying to target that Sona down. Nunu's also ultimated. Here comes the paranoia as Crescendo's finally used. Only catches 2 players though. Not sure if that was the right idea to do, but Lee Sin will pick up that first kill. Graves straight back onto Sona once again. Going to be a team fight underneath this tower. Don't think that necessarily helps Try a whole lot, as Alistair's also going to be finished off from Twitch. So just as I was saying that Air can win the team fights, they do just that. They're 2 for 1 up with 3 Try players on very low health. Lee Sin extremely buffy right now, extremely beefy as well, and going to be very difficult to kill. Here comes Skarner as Ziggs will pick up the kill onto Nunu. Skarner has been down from Graves. Graves is doing so much damage, but Nocturne's also been taken out from that Ziggs. And that's going to be a huge team fight victory in the hands of Bear. Going to be feeling pretty good about themselves right now. That was a 4-for-2 exchange, and now they're going to go back and build some items up. In the meantime, it looks like Lee Sin is going to try and force this top tower down. Needs to be careful because Graves is still around and lurking, but it seems that Graves is more interested in stealing that red buff. So getting a bit closer. Still APOC though, there is a 10.6k gold advantage in the hands of Try, so I don't think they're going to be too bothered about this. And of course they do still have that map complete advantage as well.
Yeah, but this is the problem. You know, when you have the advantage at 20 minutes or 25 minutes, you need to finish the game. Because whenever you've got Skarner, Lee Sin and Ziggs in the late game, it's just going to be... they're just going to steamroll you. So they need to be starting to start to do a bit more ganks, you know, waiting bushes, stuff like that. Try and poke top tower, move to the bottom tower, because if it's going to be a team fight, then I'm sorry, are going to win this one.
Yeah, what happened there is Orianna was actually separated from the pack. It was a bit of a failure from Try there, and of course Orianna is the main kind of AoE damage right now in that team as it stands. I mean, fair enough, Nunu can channel off the absolute zero, and if it does land as phenomenal damage, but Orianna has the quick kind of bursty damage with that shockwave and also the dissonance to boot as well. So you're really looking at Orianna to set up those team fights nicely. She kind of failed in the case that she completely tried to focus out Sona. Sona just flashed out of shockwave and then popped the crescendo, and from there on in it was a fairly comfortable team fight for Air. Having said that though, Baron has respawn. Looks like Try are going to try and bait into this bush. There is a ward down from either team, so they know exactly what's happening. And it's just going to come down to which player is going to get caught out. Sona has managed to land a ward in the bush there, but Nunu's going to take that one out instantly, as he does have that Oracle. Not just for the warding, but also to try and counteract that Twitch. Another ward is going to go down as soon as it's placed. And once again, I mean, we're saying this before, APOC, it's really down to Air to try and push this one, purely on the basis they're behind by an awful lot on gold. They can't afford to sit back for too long, and Nunu's going to go and take that ward out once again. So every single ward that's going to go down right now from Air is going to be instantly taken out, and now they're not going to really know what's going on. Another ward has been taken out the equation. Now they're going to be thinking, are Try going to go and try a really sneaky Baron push, or are they going to try and bait us into these bushes here and to pick up the ace? So Air caught in 2 minds right now. But they are deciding to pull back, so they have guessed correctly that Try haven't gone for that Baron. And now Try in the meantime are going to pull back. Perhaps going to put some wards down just to give them even more coverage. That CV has been used from Sona, and Lee Sin very nearly landing the Sonic Wave onto Alistair. That would have started off the team fight right there had he have landed it, but instead he didn't. And again, Air are kind of clueless as to what's going on right now. Another ward has been placed. Lee Sin going to come in, misses another Q, this time onto Graves, but Graves has been caught out and slowed heavily. Could he be going down? He's managed to quick draw away. There is a huge team fight kicking off here. Absolute Zero is going to be popped. Shockwave, huge damage coming in from Oriana as two players get completely crushed from Nunu's Absolute Zero as well. Ziggs and Twitch, two heavy damage dealing characters. Lee Sin's also going to go down, and I'm going to say it right now, that was an epic failure engage right there from Air. They must have realised they were going to walk straight into a trap. 4 players down without any retaliation whatsoever. Just Skarner remaining in the middle of nowhere, in no man's land, and that is going to be a comfortable Baron. Baron has already been finished. Skarner needs to be careful he doesn't walk into another trap. It's exactly what he's done. Surely he's going to fall as well. Yes, he will, and that is going to be the GG, no doubts whatsoever, as the closest person to respawn will be Twitch. The surrender has came in, and I'm still face palming slightly at that engage from Air in the bush. It seemed like a total bait. It smelt of bait all the way from Graves. It's exactly what it was. They walked into a trap and got completely crushed for it. That was their big main mistake in that game, and well, GG.
Yeah, that ulti was fantastic.
It was the combination as well from Absolute Zero and Oriana Shockwave. Just seems that the two put together was just such raw damage that before they knew it, 3 of their players had completely just been taken out of the game, you know. So it's really quite a sad way to lose the game after all the battling that they'd done up until that point. But I think on balance the best team won that one. Tri were looking stronger from around the 20 or so minute mark onwards, and yeah, it's going to be the 1-0. I need to confirm something from Bass though. Are we carrying on with this, or are we switching across to Absolute Legends, Bass? Alrighty then. So basically, apparently, we're going to go and join Absolute Legends instead. So we are going to be joining that game right now.